Arsenal prepare to advance in talks with Mikel Merino's camp next week. This is breaking news coming out from Fabrizio Romano. Of course, Arsenal won very hours of this morning, 2-1 over Manchester United. We've done an instant match reaction. Lots of positives from both sides. Arsenal won the game 2-1, but then Manchester United won the penalty shootout. Make sure you go over and check that video out from earlier today. If you're new to the channel, please do hit that subscribe button. We are 398 subscribers exactly away from 15,000, and 96% of everyone that's viewed this channel this month is not subscribed. So what are you waiting for? Go down, smash that subscribe button. And if you could leave a like as well, that'd be absolutely fantastic. If we get 500, that is the goal. Now, we've spoken about a number of midfielders that Arsenal have been linked to. Mikel Merino, Zubimendi. At the beginning of last season, beginning of the end of the season, sorry, there was a few links to Edison from Atalanta. You know, we've spoken about Raphinha, who United have been heavily linked with, and Ugarte. How could they fit the United system? And it seems that the DM is kind of central midfielders, and a DM are definitely what a lot of top clubs need and want. And according to Fabrizio Romano, Arsenal are prepared to advance talks next week with Mikel Merino's camp after positive contacts. He's not only a name on the list as well. He's he's not the only name on the list, but well positioned. The price tag requested by Real Sociedad will be key. Now, it's important to note that Mikel Merino does only have 1 year left on his contract. So, you know, a relatively cheap deal could be in line. Of course, he's a central midfielder who can play in the defensive-minded position. Now, we've spoken about how could Declan Rice go back to his original role with Arsenal, and that was, you know, to be a DM, and then he kind of, towards the end of last season, become an advanced 8, and he really, really improved in that role. Now, we've spoken about a number of different midfielders on the list for Arsenal, and it looks like Arteta appreciates him. As soon as Emil Smith-Rowe leaves, Arsenal can proceed. Now, that's one very important bit of business that Arsenal can do, because Emil Smith-Rowe, of course, is an academy graduate. He will be leaving, and it will be 100% profit. Whether it's going to be Fulham, I know there's a few links about Crystal Palace, but you know, when I look at Arsenal right now, you know, Man United once Euro, and when I look at once, you know, Højlund went off. They didn't get the ball last night. Martinelli looks sharp. Gabriel Jesus looks fully fit and absolutely ripped. Ben White looks, you know, Ben White's had the summer off as well. Odegaard's had the summer off. A lot of their players are going to be very, very, very fit going into next season. You know, Gabriel didn't play a huge amount of football with Brazil at the World Cup. And this was an Arsenal team last night. Didn't have, you know, the likes of Saka and all their and Saliba and a few of their stars, but the performance level didn't drop. And you chuck a Mikel Merino into that midfield, and it just gives Arsenal complete control in even more football matches that they're going to play next season. Now, they are linked to a number of different players, and one of the players that his name keeps coming up, and I've seen a few links. I don't know how credible they are, but Raphinha from Barcelona is being heavily linked to Arsenal. Now, according to Football London, Arsenal are willing to make a multi-million-dollar effort to secure his signature this summer. Now, when I look at Raphinha and I look at Arsenal's attacking options, you know, they've got on that right-hand side is where they need the most depth, you know, because Bukayo Saka, if he does for whatever reason get an injury, I would be extremely concerned if I was an Arsenal fan going into next season. Then when you look at the likes of, on that left-hand side, they've got the likes, you know, you've got Leandro Trossard, you've got Martinelli, you've got relatively good competition up front with the likes of Gabriel Jesus and Havertz. On the right-hand side, of course, Jesus has played there before in an Arsenal and a City shirt, but the drop-off in quality for me from Bukayo Saka to one of those players is going to be It's a big drop off. Plus, you got to look at the likes of Reece Nelson, Eddie Nketiah, Emil Smith Rowe are all leaving, and Raphinha, his name keeps popping up, and it says, according to Spanish publication, a lot of articles in Spain are saying that they are big fans of his. It's not been stated how much they're prepared to bid and try and sign the former Leeds guy. Reports that Barcelona would demand a fee of around 50 million euros, which is 42 million pounds. I think that's a relatively cheap deal for him. And it goes on to say, Raphinha's exit this summer was Raphinha's exit this summer. It was only in 2022 La Liga Giants agreed a deal worth up to 55 million with Leeds to sign the Brazilian, and now it seems Barcelona are ready to cash in on their winger. Arsenal are understood to be in the market for a versatile forward who can play across multiple positions, including striker and winger. Raphinha is one of the latest players to be linked with a move to the Emirates this summer. That's the rest of the article. Then it goes on to say Bilbao star Nico Williams and PSV Eindhoven forward Johan Bakayoko, who's a very good player, have also been credited in some reports and as targets for the Gunners. Arsenal have until deadline day on September the 2nd, I think that is, to compare their transfer business from the summer until New Year. Now, Bakayoko would be a good signing from PSV to Arsenal. I have said in a number of videos, I think the step up in quality could be a bit of a challenge for someone like Bakayoko, and Tottenham have been heavily linked to Santiago Jimenez, and I don't necessarily think, as it stands right now, Tottenham are, in the strongest of positions from the forward line, and we should definitely be looking at someone like that. But, in terms of Raphinha to Arsenal, I think it'd be a very, very, very good bit of business. I'm not gonna lie, I do think it'd be a good bit of business for Arsenal. And then, of course, they're also linked to another Spanish midfielder that is Fabian Ruiz, who we all know his quality. We've all seen him at the Euros. Multiple. I think he got 4 goal contributions in the 6 games, 2 goals and 2 assists. Very, very, very important player for them. So Arsenal are going to have a very strong, very, very strong season, in my opinion, if they get Raphinha, Mikel Merino, and Fabian Ruiz. And all of a sudden, you're talking about a team that were not only challenging for the Premier League. I don't think they're that far. They're not light years. They're not that far away from challenging for, multiple honours next season. It's a young squad. It's an experienced squad at the same time because they've been in 2 title races now. They've got Champions League experience now. They're probably going to be better going into next season in the Champions League because of that extra experience. So just let me know your thoughts down below with regards to Arsenal's transfer business. 1 or 2 signings, and before you know it, they are right up there. Now, Eddie Nketiah linked with Marseille, Reece Nelson linked with Leicester, and of course, Emil Smith Rowe is linked with Fulham. So Arsenal's business is not going to stop by any stretch of the imagination. I believe Arteta has come out with some comments as well. As Romano has said, medical is done for Ricardo Calafiori, and he now will fly to the USA from London together with his agents. Calafiori signs a 5-year deal as a new Arsenal player in the US. And there he is. Absolutely fantastic signing for them. Truly is. Really is a top signing that. Arteta has said on Yuri and Timber, he's like a new signing for us. Big addition to the team. Now he gets the rhythm because obviously he's missed a lot of football in the last year or so. Just look at him. He's pressing, his leadership, his composure. And that's another thing. Because obviously Timber got injured so early in last season, he is going to feel like a new signing this season because you'd hope that he can stay fit. You'd hope that, he can get a lot of game time in this Arsenal team. And, competition is going to be fantastic for their defensive places. Arteta said, What will it take to finish ahead of Manchester City this season? Mikel Arteta said 114 points. If we do that, we will win the league for sure. This is the objective: win every single game and earn the right to win it. You know, and as much as people say preseason is not important, the performance they put in earlier today against Arsenal, I thought was very, very good, and it puts them in a strong position going into the remainder of the preseason. Now, Emil Smith-Rowe was not available for Arsenal tonight. He's expected to join Fulham next week. Final details to sort before getting it done. Talks at advanced stages. Things are happening in the background. Yes, Mikel Arteta confirms. So Arsenal are going to be very, very active next week with talks going for, with regards to Mikel Merino. You've got the likes of Smith Rowe on the verge of joining Fulham. So it's positive if you're Arsenal. It's very, very, very positive. Do let me know your thoughts down below if you haven't already. Make sure you drop a like. Make sure you have subscribed. I'll see you on the next one. Thank you all for watching. I am out.